Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to be doing my top 10 foundation picks for oily skin. I have oily, acne-prone skin with large pores, so these are just foundations that I have found that really work for me and help to control my oil throughout the day, last really well, and look really flawless on the skin. And I made sure to choose 5 drugstore and 5 high-end just in case you want a high-end foundation. Or if you're looking for a drugstore foundation, these are just the ones that I have tried out and that I'm constantly having in rotation. So yeah, make sure to subscribe down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you do enjoy it. And let's get on with the video. Okay, first things first, I do really want to mention this just in case you don't know, or maybe you're kind of newer to makeup, putting on foundation, or maybe you have just tried every foundation in the book and it's still not lasting on you. If you are not prepping your skin before your makeup, it's just no matter what you're going to use, it isn't going to look its best, it isn't going to wear its best. I used to be like, oh yeah, okay, whatever, skincare is not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal if I prep my skin before, but it honestly makes such a difference. Really taking care of your skin at night and in the morning, and really moisturizing and prepping your skin before makeup is going to make the biggest difference. So I definitely want to emphasize that before we go on with the foundations. And I know primer is not everyone's cup of tea. I feel like you're either for primer or you're not for it. I personally love primer. I think it can really help out with your foundation wear. It can really help out with how flawless it looks. If you have large pores, it's like my favorite thing is primer for my large pores. So again, I'm someone who loves primers, so also keep that in mind. And one last thing, if you have dry skin, you can still use mattifying foundations or foundations that are more for oily skin. Again, just really hydrating the skin and really prepping it. Maybe you're someone with dry or combination skin that just likes a more matte look. You can definitely kind of use a matte foundation and don't set it, or use a matte foundation but make sure you're really hydrating and moisturizing the skin underneath, and you can still, you know, get away with a matte foundation. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get on with the foundations after that little rant. Alright, so I think I'm going to start with drugstores first, or should I like alternate? No, we're going to do a drugstore first and then we'll move on to high-end. And I did kind of like choose ones that I just love and I use all the time and that I just know are like tried and true. So if I just tried a foundation last week, it might not be in this video, but these are ones that I've just really tested and I really love. So the first one that I'm going to mention is just an absolute favorite for many, and I've definitely mentioned this foundation multiple times on my channel. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Freshware Foundation, and I have mine in the shade 400. Just a little FYI, I am going to have all of these linked down below where you can find them. And I will have my shade with it just in case you're curious, or maybe we're kind of like in the same realm of like skin tone, skin color. You can just kind of go off of my shade. But yeah, this is one of my absolute favorites, especially for the daytime. This is the, this does have SPF 25, so even though you should still be wearing your sunscreen underneath, it's still a nice little extra bit of sunscreen to have. And this is one of the best foundations I have found at the drugstore. Like, there is only a few drugstore foundations that can compete with this one. This one just wears so nicely. I feel like even if you have dry skin, you're gonna really like this one. It's kind of a like a natural matte finish. It's not completely flat matte finish, but it's still, like, I'm telling you, I have sweated in this foundation. I have wore it during the heat. I have wore it for hours on end, and it holds up every single time. No matter what primer I use with it, no matter how my skin is doing that day, this one is going to come in clutch for me. It's just one of the best at the drugstore, and if you have not tried this foundation, I don't know what you're doing, because it's a cult favorite with a lot of people for a good reason. I'm telling you, if you're balling on a budget, this one will last you for hours on end, and it just looks so gorgeous on the skin. So yeah, I absolutely love this, and I will forever have this in rotation. And it does have a pump. I know a lot of drugstore foundations do not have pumps. I don't know what that's about, but, and as you can see, mine is very well loved and used because it looks disgusting, but yeah. Love that. Can't say if it wears 24 hours, but it definitely wears 10 hours. It's probably how long I've had it on. I don't really wear my makeup longer than that, and that's like a month. It's a long time, girlfriend. Next one is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. This one says up to 24-hour wear. Again, I can't vouch for like a 24-hour wear. You should never wear your makeup for 24 hours. That is way too long to have that on your skin, but I really do love this one. This one is in the shade 102 Fair Porcelain. So I really like this one. I was kind of hesitant to try it because I have kind of heard mixed reviews on this foundation, but for a lot of people it is like a really good favorite. I really like this one. I feel like it lasts a really long time on me. You get a really full coverage. I would say with this one, it's like a medium buildable. You can definitely get full coverage with this foundation, but again, I've said it a lot of times on my channel. I like to personally keep my foundation like a medium coverage. I want coverage, but I don't need like a new face. I just want like a medium coverage is perfect for me. So this one you can definitely get to a full coverage, and I would say less is more. I wouldn't use a ton with this foundation because I do feel like if you use too much, it will look cakey, but if you keep it like at that medium coverage, this lasts really well on you, and it will cover what you need it to cover. If you need a good full coverage foundation from the drugstore that will last, this one is it. I feel like this would be good for like a special occasion when you want your makeup to last but you really need the coverage. I feel like this one is really photo friendly. There is no SPF in this one that I know of. Yeah, I really do like this one. If you have oily skin, give this one a shot because I really like it. It's, again, less is more with it, but if you keep it that medium coverage, it's beautiful on the skin and wears really nicely. Next one is the tried and true. I'm pretty sure, I feel like everybody has tried this foundation, but it's just a classic. So this is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. They do have another one that is like dewier, but this is the matte and poreless one, and I have mine in the shade 102 Fair Porcelain, the same shade as the Superstay. I love this foundation. My only complaint with this foundation, which is like everyone's complaint, is that it doesn't come with a pump, and it's like this. I don't know. I know that now it's in like a squeezy bag, which is so weird. I don't like that either. I wish they would just give us a pump and called it a day. I absolutely love this foundation. It's more of like a satin matte finish. It's not, again, it's kind of like the L'Oreal Freshware where it's not a complete matte, but it does give you that nice satin matte finish that just looks really natural on the skin. Again, I keep this at more of a medium coverage. I would say that this one is more medium to buildable, and I really love it. It wears really nicely on the skin. It honestly looks very natural. For a more medium, fuller coverage foundation, it looks really nice and natural on the skin. If you are someone who doesn't like a flat matte foundation, you're going to like this one. I feel like it does wear really nicely on the skin. It gives me like a healthy look to my skin. So again, I love this one for every single day just because it gives you like that natural healthy look without looking cakey, heavy, like makeup-y on the skin. So yeah, I really do love this foundation, and it's a tried and true for a reason. Okay, and then the next one is a little bit different than those. This one is a little bit more extreme, I would say. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation, and I have mine in the shade 100 True Alabaster. So this one is gonna get you through some things, okay? This is a lot different than the L'Oreal Freshware. This one is a lot more matte. This is like a true matte foundation. It doesn't really have a like satiny finish at all. It is matte, but it wears a very long time. It wears just like this L'Oreal Infallible one. It will keep you through sweat. It will keep you from, I think it does claim to be waterproof, which I would agree. If you spill something, if you get caught up in the rain, this is not gonna like get all messed up or anything like that. It is sweat resistant, which again, I agree. it is sweat proof, which it is summertime, so we would need that. And it does claim to not oxidize. I've never had a problem with it oxidizing. With very matte foundations, it is hard to get your color right. With a very, very matte foundation that doesn't really have much like give to it, you need to know your color and you need to know that it's not going to oxidize. So this shade works perfectly for me, and it does not oxidize on me, but again, every skin is different, so just keep that in mind. And it does claim to be transfer resistant. I would say that I've never had any problem with this getting on my clothes or anything like that. I mean, obviously you're not going to take like a white blanket and like rub it up against your face as hard as you can, and I'm sure some would come off then. But if you need a matte foundation to get you through the summer, like if you live in the South like I do, where it's hot, it's humid, and you need a foundation that's going to get you through the summer, this is the one to try out. I would definitely hydrate underneath this one just so it doesn't look dry, but I would say this is more of a full coverage foundation. Again, I keep mine at matte, a medium, so I'm gonna like use a little bit less. But again, this one will keep you matte, girlfriend. Last one is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, and I have mine in the shade Shell Ivory. I will say I like repurchased this. I used to use this every single day like a few years ago, but you know, you kind of try out new and you kind of fall off, and I tried to remember my color, and this is definitely a little too dark for me. The undertone is just not right for me, and it's just a little bit too dark, so this is not the shade that I would get if I bought this when I buy this again. So I'm probably more like, I think I'm like Porcelain is the shade I should have gotten. I can't remember, but this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus, and this is the matte one. They do have a dewy one that I know a lot of people love, so if you have dry skin, try out the dewy one. But if you have oily skin, I love this foundation. It is photo focus, so yes, it does look great in photos. If you're going to a wedding, if you're like graduating, if you are going to prom, this is a great foundation for that because it will look good in photos. You won't get flashback. But I used to mix these every single day. I would mix the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte and this Wet n Wild Photo Focus, and my makeup was not going anywhere, Honey Bunch. It was staying put. It was staying put through 8 hours of school. Is that how long we went to school for? Yeah, 8 hours of school. It would stay through sweat. It would stay through, it wouldn't transfer onto my clothes. It was waterproof. I mean, it stayed through everything. So these two mixed together are a match made in heaven for oily skin. But this one on its own is a great foundation, and I'm pretty sure it's like $5, so you can't beat it. It looks really nice on the skin. I wouldn't say, again, I would say it's more like a satin matte finish. It's not as matte as this one, so that's kind of why I would mix them all the time, just to get even more of a long wear, fuller coverage look that's gonna last me through 8 hours worth of wear. But again, I really do love this one. I wish I had picked up a different shade because it looks okay on its own, but I definitely like mixing it with a lighter foundation just so it's not too deep. But yeah, love those. So those are my 5 drugstore top picks. I need to do this like every year if y'all would like that, because you know, you're constantly trying out new. There's constantly new coming out, and you never know what you're going to try where you're like, yes, that is a cult favorite. I need it forever. Okay. And now on to high end. So again, these are just the ones that I have tried out in like years ago, or ones that I've just tried out this past year. And I was like, that's amazing. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. First is the Too Faced Born This Way 24-Hour Undetectable Super Long Wear Foundation. That is a long name. So this is the matte version of their Born This Way foundation. I love this foundation. I mean, I just tried it out last fall of 2020 and I fell in love with it. I had mine in the shade Cloud. It's the like perfect shade for me. One thing I will say about Too Faced, and their colors can be a little bit weird. I don't know what that is with Too Faced, but I feel like a lot of their colors run pink. So I'm pretty sure this is the fair shade with pink undertones, and normally I would go for neutral. But their neutral shades run yellow too, so I always go for like more of the pinker ones, and those colors just work better for me. But I love this foundation. It does claim to be oil controlling, waterproof, transfer resistant, oil free. It is transfer resistant. I don't get any on my clothes. I don't get any, like, you know, mainly on my clothes because I don't know where else it would be really transferring to, but I do kind of agree with that. I will say with the mask, it does wear nicely under a mask. I forgot to mention that with those other ones. I would say the L'Oreal one real fast. This one wears great under a mask. I don't think I have any problem with any of those transferring. This one will just a little bit in a mask, but you'll look beautiful still after you take it off because it's still gonna look great. There might just be like a little bit of transfer, but it'll still look good. I didn't choose any that transfer really bad onto a face mask. So yeah, I really do love this foundation. I am wearing this one mixed in with another one, just mostly because the other one's a little too deep for me, so I needed the color, and I just love this one. I think it wears really nicely, and it just looks really nice on the skin. You can keep this one at medium, or you can build it up to be a fuller coverage, and it's not a flat matte where it's going to make you look dry and just kind of like crepey. It's really going to look like, it almost just looks like your skin but better. Like it has that like natural matte finish, and it just looks really nice. Next one, I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about it because it's the one I mixed in with that one today. And it is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Foundation. So, I mean, what service would I be doing to my oily skin girls if I didn't mention this? I feel like this has been a cult favorite for everybody for years. Like, even though this is not a foundation I would wear on the everyday basis, it's more for one that I would wear to a wedding, prom, just somewhere where you want your makeup to last, be waterproof, be transfer proof, be sweat proof, and you're not just gonna have to worry about touching it up all night. This is the one that you want. I would say on me, it is not a flat matte foundation. It is kind of more of a natural matte, but this is definitely full coverage. I would say you can keep it at medium, which I choose to do, but it is a fuller coverage foundation. So yeah, so great for special occasions, great for when you want your makeup to last for hours and hours and hours. Again, I have mine in the shade Cool Bone, which, like I said, it's just too dark for me. The undertone's a little weird. It's a little too cool tone for me, and it's just too deep. As you can see, like, it's just not my shade. So when I repurchase this foundation, I'll definitely pick up another shade, but I just feel like it's kind of like, I don't really want to like go ahead and purchase another one when I have a full bottle right here. So I do tend to mix it a lot right now just because the shade's a little too deep for me, but I love it on its own, and I love it mixed with other foundations. So yeah, if you are oily skin and you haven't tried out this one, it is a cult favorite that I just think that everyone could use in their collection. So yeah, I absolutely love this foundation. My one complaint with this one is that it doesn't come with a pump, so you do have to buy that separately, which is so ridiculous to me. I know they pay probably like $1-2 to make that pump, so whatever. But yeah, I wish they would put a pump on it. And then my other complaint, which is kind of like the opposite, is on the Too Faced one, is that my pump gets clogged. Now, I don't know if that's just mine. I've not heard anyone else on YouTube or anything like that talk about that problem, but mine will get clogged, which it could be my fault, honestly, but I've never had this happen. I mean, it is pretty messy, but it won't want to like come out of the pump, and it kind of will just like spurt like everywhere and will get all over the place. So that is the one thing I don't like about this foundation, but again, it could just be mine, I don't know. So yeah, next is the Nars Soft Matte Complete Foundation, and I have mine in the shade Oslo Light 1. That shade is a little bit pink for me, but I just feel like Nars foundations can be kind of hard to find a color in, or just their complexion products in general can kind of be hard to find a color in. So yeah, but this one does work good for me, and it's just a little bit too pink, but it still looks good, and I would repurchase this shade again. I really like this foundation. This is like, if you want flawless perfect looking skin, this is the one that you should get. It will give you, it is definitely a full coverage foundation. So if you don't like full coverage, then, you know, skip on this one. But for my ladies who like a full coverage, flawless looking skin, this is the one to get. It's kind of like my Estee Lauder one, where this is the one that I would use for special occasions. It's not one that I'm going to wear every single day, just because it is kind of that fuller coverage look. But when I'm filming, when I'm going out and I want my makeup to look perfect and I want it to last forever, these two are the ones that I'm going to be going for from the high-end section. So it is kind of like a special occasion foundation for me, or not even special occasion, just when I'm having problematic skin. This one and the Estee Lauder one are the ones that I'm going for. So yeah, I really do love this one. Again, it might have transferred a little with the mask. I honestly think that it is so hard to find a foundation that is like completely transfer proof for a mask, because it is literally like on your face if you're wearing them right. It is like on your face, so you know, and it's like rubbing, so it's just hard for not at least a little bit to come off. So yeah, this one is super nice. It wears for a really long time and it gives you the most flawless looking skin. It's a really good foundation. It is a squeezy tube, which isn't my absolute favorite. I prefer a pump. It's just, it's easier and it's just what I prefer. But yeah, I really love this foundation. Last two, so these are both by the same brand, and they're definitely catered for two different people. So we'll go ahead and start with this one. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation, and I have them in the shade 120. Again, I think the shade works really nicely for me. I love this foundation. I know this foundation is a little bit polarizing, kind of like all her foundations are. I feel like people either love or hate it. And I know this one caused a lot of people to break out. I haven't had that problem. So if you have super sensitive skin, just kind of be aware. But if you want to try this out, try it out. I love this one for every day. It's just, I love it. I know I've had to use up, like it looks like I haven't used like any of it, but I know I have to be like halfway done, if not lower than that, because I used to use this one every single day. Obviously, I've tried out new, and you know, I like to switch through my foundations like every day and kind of wear something different. But I love this foundation. I think it's a medium buildable, so I keep it at like the medium again. And it just looks so nice on the skin. It wears really nicely for me. It looks beautiful all day long, and it looks natural as like a matte kind of fuller coverage foundation can. So yeah, I really do love this one. It wears really nicely on the skin, and it just looks skin-like. I don't know how to explain it, but I really do love it. And it's and the shade range is like impeccable, so I really do love it, and I will continue to repurchase this one. And it does have a pump. Obviously, as you can see, it's very well loved in this household. But yeah, if you have been holding off from getting it because you're afraid it's going to break you out, or you're just not going to like it, just try it. Sephora does let you return products, so just try it. Maybe you'll like it. Again, if you have sensitive skin, maybe just do like a little bit just to see how your skin's going to react. But yeah, I absolutely love this foundation for every single day. Okay, and then the last one is for my people who just like a more skin tint, tinted moisturizer, lightweight, everyday, you want your skin to peek through kind of foundation. So this is the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Blurring Skin Tint. So I actually just got this really not that long ago, but this is the best skin tint I've tried. Have I tried that many? This honestly might be the only one, but you know, as like an oily skin person, it is so hard to find tinted moisturizers or skin tints that are gonna look good on your skin and aren't gonna wear off in 5 minutes. So yeah, I mean, I just feel like every single tinted moisturizer or skin tint is very grease ball, wears off in like 5 seconds, and it just looks disgusting on the skin. And they're all seem to be for dry skin people, but if you have oily skin, this is the one that you need to try. I really do like this one. Again, it is a skin tint, so I probably get about 6 to 7 hours worth, which is really good actually for a skin tint. This one actually has coverage to it. So again, you can obviously keep it like a light coverage, but if you are someone who wants a more, you want your skin to still show through and you want people to be able to see your natural skin, but you want a little bit of coverage, this is the one. This is one that's kind of going to be like, is she wearing something or is her skin just that perfect? I can't figure it out. This is the skin tint. It wears really nicely. It doesn't make me look like a grease ball. Gives me a little bit of coverage. It's like my skin but better. And yeah, I really do like it. Again, it is a skin tint, so I just feel like skin tints don't wear for 15 hours like a full medium coverage matte foundation will. But this is the best one I've tried, and yeah, I have mine in shade 1, by the way. I just love it. Okay, guys, so that is all the ones that I wanted to mention. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want me to do concealers, primers, powders, whatever, I can do that. I really think these videos can be very informational, and for people who have oily skin and they just can't find a foundation that works for them, hopefully one of these will work for you. And I just try to choose 10 that I just go to when I need it to last and when I need it to look perfect on the skin. These are the ones I'm gonna go for. So yeah, and I try to kind of include everyone. If you want drugstore, if you want high-end, what kind of coverage you want. Hopefully I helped you out a little bit. And again, if you want me to kind of redo this like every year, I can definitely do that. I'll probably do it anyways because it's just informative and I really like these videos. I'm always up to try new foundations. Make sure to leave a comment down below. Tell me your favorite foundations, if you tried any of these, if you're gonna try any of these. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.